Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Monkey Wrench. I'm Kelly, the monkey with the wrench. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps me a ton. So please, it's right there. Go ahead, hit it. Only takes a second. Today we are working on a little Cub Cadet with a Briggs. And it won't start. So let's just check it out. Give it a couple of pulls here. And we're going to do the standard. Nope. So shoot it with a little bit of something flammable. In this case it's carburetor cleaner. Shut this off. And it should start on the third or fourth pull. Always does. Alright. So we know the electrical system is good. We know that the machine will run. We know it's a fuel problem. So let's pull that carburetor. Now I don't normally stick them up on their side to work on them, but I figure it might give you guys a better angle. I haven't done anything to this. The air filter cover was put on with a zip tie. So that's because it's broken. And they're really not worth buying new stuff. This is the cover part here that broke. And it broke on the actual cover itself too. They're not worth buying. Now my landlady thought that I was 5 years old and wouldn't notice, but she went into my shop when I wasn't home and stole my impact driver. I have it on video. She doesn't know I have a security camera in there. And when I went to her and asked her about it, of course she lied and said it must have been a crazy neighbor or something and I should lock the shop better. So that's why I'm using a ratchet right now, because I don't have 50 bucks to go buy a new impact gun driver. So if you watch my other videos and you're saying, where's your little impact driver? Yeah, it was stolen from me by that lady right there in the house. Which is funny because after 2 years, she thinks she can steal from me and just lie about it. And there's nothing I can do. And this, in fact, is her machine. I'm getting it running for her because I'm no longer going to cut the grass here for her for free anymore. She's going to cut her own damn grass. So I figure I'll work on her machine so she could do it. We're getting caught here by this bar. So I'm going to see if I can adjust the wheels here, which is probably going to be a bit of a pain because I have it tilted up. But let's see. I can lower that a bit. There we go, to get the carburetor out. Now, this machine has been sitting for almost 2 years. I fixed it about 5 months ago because she said she was going to cut the grass after she upped the rent on me. And it's just been sitting since then. And the last time I just cleaned the carburetor. Now, yeah, we got some fuel in there. So I'm basically just going to take this apart and give it a quick clean. And you saw there's just 2 linkages here. Here with the spring. The one with the spring goes backwards. It goes in and then turns sideways and gets locked under this little core. The spring goes in that hole. Front linkage just goes in there. Let me clean this real quick. You've seen this 100 times. Let's see if I can get it to run. Phew, the sun came out with a vengeance. Alright. Now, I just want to make sure that our little gasket here it's sort of a slug plate. Alright, and since I don't have the exact gasket for it, we're just going to improvise and we're going to put one in there. I would normally put the proper gasket in there, but I don't have one. And I'm not spending a dime. I'm already giving my time to fix this thing to be a nice guy, because I'm no longer cutting the grass here. See, the original deal was X amount of dollars in rent, plus take care of the yard, and since then she's put tons and tons and tons of garbage all over the yard that takes, you know, costs 3 times, 4 times as long to cut it, because I have to weed eat around everything. And she yells all the time about it not being done, and I refuse to spend 3 or 4 hours a week taking care of the property, plus paying an absorbent amount of rent. You wouldn't believe how much rent I pay here to live in my own vehicle and rent the shop. So after she stole from me and then lied about it, I'm finished with this. I'm staying here for another month or two while I look for something better. I've been here for 2 years, and you know, I've done so much just to help and pay my rent all the time and take care of business, and still she wants to screw me over. She's trying to up the rent. She has a roommate. She's upping the rent on her. She's just money hungry and lazy. She doesn't work. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I'm not exactly doing a top-notch job here. And in fact, if it doesn't run now that the carburetor's been cleaned, I'm simply going to let her know she needs a new carburetor, and I'll install it when it gets here, when she buys it. But I'm not going to mess with this thing anymore. It's been sitting for 2 years. So let's just see if it'll start. Sorry about my rambling. My problems are my problems, not anyone else's. Let's just see if we can stand it back up. It should have plenty of fuel in it. I put some in it. I'm gonna put a little bit more in. Give me a second. Alright, let's give it a couple of tugs and see what'll happen. Well, it wants to start now. When the choke's on. Choke on. But it dies right away. The carb is beyond repair. And, you know, over a $25 carburetor, I've already spent a half an hour. And this is why I tell my customers, just buy a new carburetor. You're paying me X amount of dollars an hour to mess with an old carburetor that might take 3, 4, 5 cleanings. I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner, but half the time that doesn't work either. I know you watch other channels and they stick it in the ultrasonic cleaner and they can get it to work and all that stuff. But remember, this is TV, so it's not always what you think it is. So I'm going to tell her she needs to buy a new carburetor, and that's what it's going to get. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Okay, I'm not an asshole. Sometimes things get the best of me. I get it. I'm human, and I get upset just like everybody else. But the difference between me and other people is I may want to half-ass something, but it's just not in my DNA. I'm not perfect. Not everything that I've done has been perfect, but it drives me crazy when I only put half effort into something. And regardless of what my landlord did by stealing from me, doesn't change who I am, and I won't let it. So I was sitting there thinking about what could be going on with the carburetor. Wasn't that dirty? Could I just give it another cleaning, save her some money, even though she doesn't deserve it? When you're a good person, you don't do stuff because someone deserves it. You do stuff because that's who you are. So I pulled the carburetor back apart. I didn't bother to film it, obviously. And what I realized was the center jet, the main jet, On these carburetors, you can unscrew and take that jet out, and it's two pieces. One is the screw and one is the jet. And I pulled it again, and I realized that I had put it in upside down. There's only one way to put it in. It'll fit in there two ways, because the opening is that big and the jet's half of that, or 2/3 of that. So if you don't pay attention to it, you can put it in upside down. And that's exactly what I did. The bottom of it is wide, it has a lip around the bottom, and it fits into a slot inside the carburetor. The top is flat with a little hole in it, and that's the side you're supposed to put up. The top just has a tiny hole in comparison to the bottom. The entire thing is open. So I flipped it back over, put it back together, and again, every time you take that out, you have to tap it on the bench. You're never sure which way was it in, which way did it come out. So I put it back the way I know it's supposed to be and paid attention when I put it back. And there you go. Because I was upset, and because every day when I reach for my tool and it's not there, my impact driver, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy that someone could just steal from me, that I could have proof and they'll still lie and say it wasn't me, like it's some kind of Shaggy song, knowing there's nothing that anybody can do about it. If I were to call the cops, I live on her property. They say she has the right to go in, take whatever she wants. It's her shed. So I gotta stop letting things get to me. But there you go. I'm still a good person. It may not run at 100% because the carburetor is old and it hasn't been touched in 2 years. But it's running at 90%. You can still hear a little bit of, but it's running at 90% now, and she can use it. Now what happens to it after this? Not my concern. If she doesn't take care of it, put a cover on it, keep fuel in it, use it every week, I don't care. I'm not fixing it again. But at least now she doesn't have to put out the money for a new carburetor, and I did exactly what I was supposed to do. So this is just an addendum to that video. If anybody needs a specific carb cleaning video, pretty much all the videos you see on my channel, part of the video in there somewhere is me pulling the carburetor, pulling it apart on the bench, cleaning it. If you can't find anything, go through some of my videos. And if you have a specific machine and you need a walkthrough, let me know in the comments, and I'll either do it for you, make a specific video just cleaning that carburetor, so it'll be a nice short video, or maybe we can do a live stream and I can walk you through cleaning your own carburetor. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. See you soon.